Welcome back to Keep Expecting Miracles. I am Ilissa.
And I'm Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
Hey, girl. I'm good.
We're back today. We're here with another episode. We have a returning guest, Sister Yaya. We had her on our podcast last year, and we interviewed her about her story, her journey, and where she lives now, and the work that she does with women and postpartum care. And welcome back, Sister Yaya. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. And thank you so much for having me back. I'm so excited to share this time and space with you all again. So thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We were talking previously before we press record. We're always like, okay, we get into juicy conversation and then we have to press the record button. But I was gonna tell you that your your reel on our TikTok. We shared our, obviously clips of the show on our TikTok, and the reel with you talking about mother wounds or your relationship with your mother was like the most reposted reel. Like so many people had reposted it, liked it, shared it. And so I was like, okay, we're not the only people that, this resonated with. Like we have to have her back and talk about mother wounds. So that's what we're talking about today. So
Awesome.
yeah.
I'm
Yes.
excited.
Yes, yes. So Jessica and I have, just to catch our audience up a bit. We've been going through major transitions. If you haven't, we do have regular listeners, but we've been going through major transitions over the last couple of months. And a part of my healing and transformation has been healing my maternal lineage through the mother wound. Particularly work with my great grandmother, my grandma, and then my mom. And that has, it's deep shadow work to say the least. It's deep shadow work. So I'm glad that we have you here um to talk. But I know, just to go back to rewind some, I remember you saying when you came last year that you were ready to share your journey, you were ready to tell your story. And what was that like for you, coming on our show and sharing?
Thank you. Well, I think I got a little emotional on your show, if I remember correctly. And it was almost like that was a call. Sometimes, when you're a helper, a healer, you feel like you have to maintain this, not this stoicism, but this part where it's like, oh, I'm imperious to these things. But I think the medicine of today is authenticity and vulnerability. Not sharing everything, of course, but letting people know, like, you've lived this. Like, you see this today, but there was a person that existed before that didn't look like this, that didn't sound like this, that was really in the trenches in the midnight of the soul. Because it's a very natural process that we all go through a variety of different things, but to show up authentically, when I talked about maybe I'm ready to tell my story, is to say, you know what, this has been great. I love the grant. I love all the things. But let me tell you how it's really happening. Let me tell you how it really goes down. When you're healing mother wounds, when you're cutting ties, and allowing myself to be seen, which, when we'll talk later, is healing the mother wound, allowing yourself to be seen and knowing that you're safe. Yeah, people may say this or say that. That's okay. But how you show up for you is very important. How your energy is represented in this realm is very important. And sometimes with the mother wound, that little voice might say, oh, you're too loud. Don't say that. You're just too much. Or why are you showing up? Why are you saying this? You're just doing too much. And so part of my journey, which I allowed you all to walk with me, that voice that says, don't be too much, don't be so loud, is like, no, I'm going to be me. No, I'm going to let people know you can have the great and the beautiful and the wonderful, but it comes out of a lot of stuff that don't feel too good, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the best fertilizer is shit. It's the stuff that makes it grow. That makes the best flowers. It's the best fertilizer so that we can grow and be beautiful. And it's
Yeah.
also stepping into honoring both sides, right? And some of the parts of my story are very, very dark, which I don't have to go into. But it also helped me to say that, you know what? There's no shame. There's
Mhm.
no guilt. There's none of these things. This is life. And it's not my fault, it's not my mother's fault. It's just how life has unfolded. My story has unfolded. So
Yeah.
I've been able to give myself a lot of grace when I say I want to talk about my story, because it is a story of grace and compassion. It is a
Mm.
story of remembering that, yes, my mom has her story, but guess what? I have mine too. And both of them
Mhm.
could be true at the same time. And they don't have to
Yeah.
compete, they can exist. So it's a lot that came out from the last time we chatted. And it was more of a medicine for me first. Yeah,
Mm.
first for me.
Yes. Yes. Were you gonna say something, Jessica?
No, just that's good. That's I was sharing with Sister Yaya before you got on, Ilissa, about how when I went through the most drastic part of my transition recently, that she came to mind, her interview and her sharing her story about, when everything pretty much fell apart for you during Hurricane Katrina. And I was like, suddenly I was like, whoa. Like I understood, what how difficult that must have been. But then for me to be in my own situation, that's like, oh my gosh, she felt like this. It just it added allowed me to feel more I guess developed another level of empathy um for you, for the situation, for all those people. But then also it gave me hope, because it's like, okay, no, like I'm really being set up right now. Okay, I am. So I'm thankful that you did share as much as you did in our last recording.
Awesome. Grateful.
Before we move on there, what you just said is that that episode served as medicine for you first, which blows me away, because I'm like, wow, like it really fed us. And so that's a reminder of because I go through this thing too, where even like right now I feel like I'm in a space of, yes, I show up here for Keep Expecting Miracles, but, and I show up in the classroom as a teacher, but, in other ways, I could be showing up more, but I don't, because I'm like, I don't think I can do it yet. Or, there's still sometimes a thought in my mind of, who are you? Like, why is it you? Like, and it's a whole thing. Um, and so that's why we're also having this episode, because Alyssa and I are very interested in how the mother wound has shaped our lives, has, in
Mhm.
what ways is it affecting our current lives to hold us back?
Mm.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say that, like you said, is the medicine is vulnerability and authenticity. That kind of your interview with the series that we did, was specifically your interview, your vulnerability planted a seed in myself, and I would say Jessica too, but like myself, with just the last year of being very vulnerable in spaces, being very open with, my, journey as a new mom and the things that I've been going through, and really how just being open and honest about what I'm feeling and what I'm going through, and what it actually looks like, has really, it's lifted like heavy weights. It's not something that I have to carry in shame. It's not something that I have to hide, and it's brought people closer to me. It's opened up doors, and so I really have to thank you and credit you, because I would say that that was definitely a seed. That interview was a seed.
Wow.
It was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm grateful. Thank you both for sharing that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So like Jessica said, we are both very interested in how this affects us currently. I mean, I could say throughout my life, like, my voice was suppressed. I had to find my voice. I found it, become a therapist. I, can talk to people. I can use my voice. I can speak up for myself. But it's really, you have to look at all aspects of your life. And so, can you define a mother wound? I don't know if there's like a definition, or what does it look like, or what exactly is it for those that might want to know?
Okay, yeah, to define the mother wound, I will say this as a caveat. The mother wound, from my study and my experience, is a working definition. I'm finding that the mother wound is showing up in so many different ways. There's spiritual mother wounds, right? Spiritual mother wounds where we see the absence of the divine feminine in spirituality, right? And some of our
Mhm.
religions are heavily masculine. And like, where's the feminine? Where's the balance, right?
Mhm.
There's the earthly mother wound. How are we caring for Mother Earth, the womb that we live in right now? How are we caring for our waters, the animals, the birds, the air? So there's wounding there. There's so many mother wounds, but the ones we talk about the most is the personal mother wound, the one that we receive, which is energy that has been either interrupted or misaligned, or we perceive it to be that way. And there's no judgment, which is very important to say. There's no judgment. Energy that has been rooted in unmet needs from
Mm.
a mother who mothered you or couldn't mother you, or anyone who served that role as mother for you, right?
Okay.
So rooted in unmet spiritual needs, emotional needs, physical needs, et cetera, et cetera. It could be emotional neglect, unrealistic expectation, or generational trauma, right? But the idea is that the energy is coming through the maternal line,
Okay.
right? The same thing could be said for father wounds coming from the paternal line, right?
Okay.
So it's an unmet need. It's an interruption of the divine feminine energy that we receive from our mothers or the person who mothered us. It could be a grandmother, an auntie, whoever mothered us or served in that role, or an absence of a mother, because that's a
Okay.
mother wound itself, right? So
Okay.
mother wounds can span, but in this case, I think personal mother wounds is the ones most people are feeling the most at this time,
Okay.
right?
I would agree. I would agree with that. And you said it can be generational trauma, it can be emotional neglect, unmet needs. Okay, so what if you have all three?
Well, okay, if you have all three, then it's evident that a mother wound is present. Unmet needs could be
Okay.
unmet spiritual needs, unmet emotional
Mhm.
needs, unmet spiritual needs, unmet financial needs, like unmet needs in general. So that
Mhm.
means that there's possibility that there is a big presence of a mother wound, which to me, is a good thing. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's a good thing because once you can identify where the root of something is, that's half
Mhm.
the battle.
Okay. Wow.
That's it's coming from my bloodline. Well, there are remedies. There are things that I can do because I know where it's coming from. I'm aware of it. That is half the battle. Now I can start to construct the life. I know 50% of what I don't want, which I see in my mother wounds. I know I don't want that. Now
Yes.
I have the opportunity of creating something that I do want. So that's half the battle. When
Wow.
you can
Okay.
identify it and when you see it that way, energetically it moves that healing needle forward. Like,
Right.
oh, okay, I see where it's coming from. I'm not blaming my
Right.
mother. It is what it is. But oh, it's coming. It's not me. It's something I've inherited in my bloodline, perhaps. It's something that
Yes.
I that was seeded and rooted in me as a child. That if I see it as a seed, that means I might need to do the work of excavating, of clearing that out. Now that's the
Yes.
other 50%. Yeah.
Okay. And so because I've worked in mental health, even before I became a therapist, and now I'm, decolonizing that. But before that, I was able to identify, like, okay, I speak this way or act this way or am this way, make certain decisions because of how I was raised, because of my mom. Like, I'm intuitive in that way.
Hmm.
And actually being able to trace it back to a great grandmother it has is just that's what I've been doing maybe the last 2 months. But how, if you don't have the training, or if this language is not, familiar to you, how does one even start to identify, okay, my needs are not being met emotionally? What does that even look like? How does one identify
Okay.
those things that you described?
That's a really, really good question. And you can do it a variety of different ways because people, ways of thinking and feeling are different, right? I will
Right.
start with the present, looking at your life and looking at maybe cycles of things that keep occurring, right? So, for example, For some people, it's homelessness. For others, it could be chronic depression, and depression can be caused from a variety of different things, right? It
Yes.
could be choosing certain type of partners in our lives, right? And if you can look around and you can kind of see things, maybe your mother maybe has some characteristics that are similar, or maybe a auntie or a grandmother, you can start to type of connect the dots and say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I see these things present in my life. You know, being really honest and what I encourage people to do is write it out. What are the maladaptive things that you see in your family and within yourself? And if you have children, within your children, write it out. Attitudes, behavior, thought patterns. Write those things out, and then start to work your way back. Okay, do I see it in myself? Do I have these maybe poor boundaries, negative thinking about myself? And
Mm-hmm.
then take a step back. Okay, when I was a child, what kind of things did my mom say that really hurt me? What kind of things did she do? Start to literally get a piece of paper. I'll get like a big carton paper, the brown paper, and like, you can just write however you want to write. Start making dots, connecting things. When was the first time I felt like I wasn't good enough?
Mm.
How old was I? What was I doing? Who said it? What was the context? Noted, 4 years old, on the swing. I fell down, skidded my knee, and my mom called me all kinds of names because I got my shirt dirty.
Mm.
Pin. Because your consciousness and your body remembers everything. It never forgets. We may say, oh, that was back then, that's okay. But that little girl and that little boy on the inside is still crying from the time they didn't get comfort and they were put down and talked harsh to when they dirty their pants at the playground. That
Mm-hmm.
child is now sitting in your 32, 35, 45-year-old body, still crying and still wanting comfort for the mother. So it comes in our relationships, right? It comes out in
Yes.
our work, it comes out in our money. But it's not the 35-year-old, it's the 3-year-old, the 4-year-old. So it's important that we go back. Think about, when was the first time I was told I was too ugly, I was too big, too fat,
Mm-hmm.
stupid. When was the first time I was meant to feel this way? Write it
Mm-hmm.
down, pin it. Let's talk to that 5-year-old, that 7-year-old, and we move forward from there. So our lives can show us that, our bodies can show us that. When we have accidents, injuries, or sicknesses that are chronic or that shows up, womb conditions is a major one for a lot of women. Mother wounds show up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The big C, that shows up. If it's on the left, if especially if it shows up on the left side of the body, you know you're dealing with maternal energy or your feminine energy. If
Yes.
anything shows up, an accident, a scar, a bruise, your left knee, your left foot, is giving indication that something's out of alignment. So we can use our bodies as a map. And there is a book that you can get. It's called Knowing Ourselves by Joman Romero. He has
Okay.
a PDF on his on the website, on his online, which I recommend you order the book, because in his book he goes through different parts of the body and different like problems you can have, like conjunctivitis of the eye or
Mm-hmm.
constipation, and it tells you the emotions that are
Oh,
attached to that
yes.
illness. So
Yes.
it can start you on a pathway just by using your body as a map, as to start to identify where our energies may be misaligned and how it could relate to the mother wound. Those are some things that anyone could do.
Yes, thank you for that. I'm definitely gonna order that book because
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was doing and how it came up for me in my herbalism apprenticeship, because I was walking with red raspberry, doing womb healing work. I have healed fibroids before, but being pregnant and the estrogen comes back up, so they come back again. Or but I was having ovary pain on my left side, my left ovary, chronic ovary pain, all throughout the cycle. And went to the doctor, emergency, all nobody knew what was going on. I went to a Chinese medicine doctor, and we obviously traced it back to the organs in my liver, but it was my ovary nonetheless, and it was specifically when I was working with my great grandmother. um
Wow.
yes, yes. So and it was stuff that I know needed to be brought forth and needed to come out. Things that I feel like had to be acknowledged, because my grandmother turned 100 years old this year, and so we had a big family gathering. Yes, and so I got to meet family members and people from that side of the family, but it wasn't until maybe like a couple weeks after that we really all had conversations about what actually went on, what kind of life she lived, and what needed to be healed through the line. So I'm definitely gonna get that book.
Thank you for that recommendation. I'm getting it too. That's, you know, it's my own womb issue, where I mean shared it here before, that I have a prolapsed uterus, and I was my initial instinct was I need to learn about my grandmothers on both sides, and I need to find out what the heck's going on. Why is my womb running away from me? I need to come back to myself. I need, like, it was that I need to delve into my maternal line on both sides, please, immediately. And I'm still doing that work right now.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, definitely. You will find that book to be a great resource. Also, if I can just say, in terms of wound healing, while we're talking about it, um, after birth, there are things that you can do to close your body back, right? So you have closing of the bone ceremonies. We have sometimes, because I've had prolapse as well, there's exercises you can do to place your womb back into place. And so I'm trying to do my best to share this wisdom with women all over the world. Like, if you, okay, you can't come to Mexico to get your sabata done. Okay, baby, get this castor oil, go like this, put this over here, feel your organs, feel where your ovary is, feel where your womb is, feel where your liver is. You can do all of these things. These are the things that our ancestors, long time ago, have been doing to keep ourselves well. And now it's time to bring it forward so that we can do these things at home so that we can be well, in addition to all the wonderful things that you're already doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Thank you. I wanted to go back to something that you said about, writing things down or going back to a memory or an instance. And so I could see myself doing that, and I have done that before. And let me just speak for myself. But I get stuck. You get stuck in those interactions, and then the resentment comes, and then you're expecting something from your mother, because I have me and my mother, we speak every single day. Like, we have a open, very evolved relationship now. But it's when that acknowledgement is not there, or I was getting stuck in, well, this is why I'm this way, and it's because of you. And taking her out of it, and going, like you said, going back energetically, was very, very hard to do when see a real life person here. And you're living it yourself. And now I have my own daughter, and I can see certain behaviors come out in me that I'm just like, I don't want to be transferring this. So how does one not get stuck in that blaming?
That is a great question. I know that walking the journey of healing the mother wound requires support. It requires support of people who understand, who walk the journey, or someone or a group of people that helps with that. As it relates to blaming, because I also, it's actually a part of the process. You're going to be angry. You're going to blame. You might even HATE for a little bit, low key, and that's okay. These are all valid emotions, right? At some point, and I've had to pray for this, universe, ancestors, guides, God, help me to get to the point where my blaming is my power leaving me. Oh, you did this, you did that. Help me to love myself enough that I can just start calling myself, my energy back to myself, right?
Mm,
Because when we blame, yeah, you can be very, very right. But in your body is leaking your power because it's
mm,
you. But what about you, Jessica? What do you need? Ilissa, what do you need?
yeah.
Right? So while we're blaming, we're not putting attention back on ourselves because we need the hug. We need the compassion. We
Mm-hmm.
received the injury. Why am I giving my energy out? And when I start to realize that, when I was blaming my mother, afterwards I wasn't feeling good about it. Yeah, I was justified. I was definitely justified. But afterwards I felt depleted. Afterwards I didn't feel good. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, this doesn't feel good. It feels good that I can say it, but it didn't feel like I was getting something. I was moving the needle along. So when I realized that, you know what, I'm not talking about this. I'm going to start pouring back into my cup. I'm going to start seeing, maybe just kind of viewing with a little bit of distance between my mother and myself. What do I need in this moment? Because a lot of attention has gone to her. Oh, you did this. Okay, well, what do I need? Okay, you did that, but I'm still left with this hole in my heart. I'm still left sad. I need to focus on my heart. I love you, but I love me more. I love you, but I love me more. So what helped me personally, everyone's different, to get out of blaming was that I needed all that energy for me. I was the one in deficit. I was the
Yeah.
one trying not to pass this down to my son. So I had to
Yes.
reverse it and focus on me.
Okay. That's
That was
good.
helpful.
Yes, that's really good. It's a good shift in perspective to just bring the energy back to you, cuz that's a whole nother thing, energy leaking. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, what about you, Jessica? Is there something that you could possibly get stuck on, or
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely relate to that because I don't. I could say right now, um, I don't blame my mother for anything,
yeah.
but there are other people that I blame for stuff, and I had to tell myself very similarly the other day. I'm like, if I'm here blaming them, if I am being almost like a trigger, right? Like if the blame comes with an anger, it's not like, oh, I blame you for it. It's I blame you. I like if you didn't do this, then you know. And I had to check myself. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They got a whole lot of my energy. Let me is like turn this back around to me, and how can I move forward? Yes, that is what happened and it cannot change. But how can
Mhm.
I move forward? So I can I understand that feeling a lot, that feeling of blame. Um, and getting past it is not easy, but it's well worth the work.
Yeah. 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 That is that's good, because not only it's a gem, because there can be a breakdown in your relationships, specifically with your mother, and when that happens, it's you can be intentionally doing this work to heal yourself, heal your line, and then if and when a breakdown comes, it's just like, I was only trying to help. What's going on now? Why is this even, the situation? How can we repair? Is it possible to even repair while you're trying to heal the wound? Like, what is that process even like? I know every situation is totally different, and it's, obviously it's specific circumstances, but can you speak to that?
About healing and repairing at the same time while you're working through a relationship. Is that your question?
Yes, or if that's even possible.
Yeah, it is possible, but it's something, in my opinion, that you have to tread very delicately. I'm gonna give you a tip. I'm gonna give you a tip. And this is, I pray everyone just takes this tip, right? The most effective way of healing the mother wound, and it's two ways. Keeping yourself accountable to yourself. What are the things I'm going to accept for myself? What are the things I'm not going to accept for myself? I ain't going to accept hollering, screaming. I'm not going to strive. Boundaries on how you want to protect your energy.
Okay.
Another thing is also, sometimes it's easier not to say anything and get to the spirit of it. What I mean by that, when you get to the spirit of cleansing your bloodline, there is a ritual that I teach, and that you can start to work with your maternal energy that's inside of you, connected to the Most High, and say, you know what, Most High, this is too big for me. I don't have the skills. I don't have the tools to deal with this. But Most High, what needs to be done, and you assign your spirit team to do the work for you. It's a 7-day ritual. You don't have to say anything. Once you do this ritual and you surrender it, you will see things in your life start to change immediately. If you have
Wow.
children, it will change. I have so many testimonials about it. And it helps 7 generations after you and 7 generations before you. So all this back and forth with your mom, get your energy straight, and automatically it will help to adjust hers because she's connected to you, and you don't have to say anything. You do
Wow.
not have to say anything because you are the spoke of the will. And if you are suffering with mother wounds in this season, that means there's an opportunity, but you also have the capacity with support to heal
Yes.
it. So there's
Yes.
things that you can do which you can fix within yourself, and you are the first beneficiary of this medicine. The first. So that means your peace comes back, your joy comes back, your health comes back, your finances come online, your relationships come online first because you are the recipient and you've taken the medicine first. Then, energetically, because they are connected to you, your mother, her attitude may change, her disposition may change. She may start being a bit more positive. Why? Because you decided that you're going to break that energetic chain that's been a theme in your family and be different. And everyone else, without saying a word, are forced energetically, and they don't know it, to change because you have done the work. But who gets the benefit? You. Who gets the fringe benefit? Your bloodline. Healing the mother wounds is a gift. Why? Because that means that you are chosen to bring about a new, fresh energy in your bloodline. And guess what? You get to create it however you want to create it. Oh, we're going to be rich and abundant. We're going to do that. Like, okay, baby, let's go. Okay, we're going to be this. We're going to be going here. We're going to have this. We're going to have these experiences. You get to be the
Yes.
architect. But first, we just got to clean out you ever work a job and then the leadership changes and then you got to go through this weird phase where it's like but they got to clear out the HR lady who wasn't doing nothing, the janitor
Yes.
who ain't never cleaned up, like they got to clean out all that stuff. That's what you're doing. You are becoming the new line of matriarch, and there is a new government in town, there's a new sheriff in town, right? Okay, I see
Hello.
this has been going on, this is not going to work moving forward, I'm here to clean this up. But you need tools, you need support, you need help. So that's why when we talk about mother wounds, it's personal. But we
Mm-hmm.
also see is big. We also see is you creating and constructing your empire, your life,
Mm-hmm.
your sovereignty, right? But first, it can't come. And because the mother is so close to us, it feels so painful. And it feels like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, because we're like this. But
Mm-hmm.
as you start to talk about it, as you have listen to podcasts such as this one, and you start to do the ritual, you start to connect the dots, you're like, wait a minute. Oh, wait a
Yeah.
minute. You mean I can have joy? You mean I can have my health back? You mean I can have my mind back? I just have to clear out the thing. It's not personal. You're
Yeah.
just clearing out the energy that just no longer serves. Mama, I
Exactly.
love you. It's not personal. I'm just doing my job so I can be my greatest self. And so that you can too. You may not understand it, but just hold tight, you're going to see. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Oh
love it.
wow. Yes.
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah. Perspective is everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. And so is that ritual one of your services on your that you include?
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
I have a mother wound healing consultation where we'll go through like your mapping a little bit and working together, getting an idea of how the mother wounds is impacting your life, identify what your
Okay.
goals are, and everyone starts this ritual and they get what they need. And I will say this: your emotional sovereignty, your nervous system sovereignty is so important. How you navigate and how you feel in this world is so important. I tell people we invest in our homes, we invest in cars, we invest in everything else, but your energy is the best investment, not just in money, but in time and in
Hmm.
effort, because you're worth it. And freedom is so worth it, but freedom's not free. We gotta put a little elbow grease, you gotta put a little muscle in it, but it's worth
Yes.
it. It's worth it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh wow. And so I know that you've also added retreats too. Can you tell us about the retreats that you have now that you're
Absolutely. So
offering? Yeah.
we have the Indigenous Medicine Healing Retreat, which we do every year, where
Okay.
women or anybody wants to come and learn traditional Caribbean and Mayan healing modalities. We talked a little bit about womb healing and other things, but we teach you how to cleanse yourself, how to cleanse your home properly, right? Because a lot of times people get tools and modalities, but if this and this is not in alignment, it doesn't matter if you sit with a master Reiki teacher. It doesn't matter. The first medicine is you. You're the first candle, you're the first altar, you're the first herb. It's you.
Mm-hmm.
And the more effective your medicine is, to the extent to more effective and more grounded you are in yourself, right? Because you're the first instrument. So we help you to heal, and we show you how to heal yourself. And then we show you some ancestral techniques to help to support those in your family. And if you are a practitioner, those who you serve. We have one coming up. We switched the dates from May to June. We'll be doing 2 parts where you can come and to Mexico and sit in a Mayan community for 2 days and learn everything Mayan postpartum. You want to know how to put the herbs together. You want to know how to close the bones. It is a course that I am not teaching. It is one of my friends that I've been working with for over 5 years. She's a master, and her mom is well known throughout the world for being a well-known Mayan midwife. And they'll be teaching this course on, and you'll have herbs and notebooks, and you get to stay in a village on how to care for your hormones, perimenopause. Menopause, it looks different for the Mayans because they have these techniques and these practices in place than it does for us in the West. These women here are not suffering the way we suffer in the West. They're not suffering. But they want to share this wisdom so we don't have to suffer, right? And I want to invite those who want to come learn with us. Come sit in the village and see how the Mayans get down. And from there, we'll head over to Jamaica a couple of days later to learn Caribbean cord cutting and the principles of sovereignty. We'll be in the mountains and the hills of Jamaica, eating off the land Ito food. But if you want some rice and peas and some oxtail and some dumpling and some fried fish, we're going to go to the beach and do that too, right?
Yes.
Visit with the maroon communities and sit with herbalists and medicine keepers in the mountains and the hills of Jamaica. And technology is very low. So your phone may or may not work. You're here with nature. The place that we stay, there's a river. We bathe in a river. We drink from the river. We do ritual in the river. And we get back to ourselves. We return to our root. It's a very small and intimate experience. And so I do interview for these experiences because I want to make sure that the person who's coming can get what they need from it, right? So there's an interview process, and I explain more about it there. But yeah, and then we have the Rest, Restore, and Revive Retreat for those who are overworked, burnt out, tired, and want a little TLC. And that is going to be November 11th. And right here in Yucatan, you just want to come and be loved on. We go to the Mayan village. We go to the cenotes. We relax on the beach. We do ritual. We play. We have fun. It's all about nervous system regulation and restoring your energy before winter time comes. So,
Okay.
yeah. And then we have
Wow.
personal retreats too. So if you ever want to come in between for anything, herbalism, learning, or just have your own healing, or just to rest, we do have a healing. I have a healing center here on the beach in a small village called Chuburna. And you can come, you can rest. We have a private chef, we have massage therapy, and you can just come and be your best self. And this is for those who just need a safe space to be and to return.
Wow. Yeah, thank you for sharing all of those
Yes.
offerings. Yes. Oh my goodness. That the first one that you shared sounds right up my alley though.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I'm already
all
like
of them.
thinking about the calendar in my mind. Like, okay, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
But so, Jessica, was there anything that you wanted to ask in particular about healing? And I know you have been working with your paternal wound, and we were talking earlier about cord cutting and how that's a whole nother episode.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, too, speaking of the father line, I know I had ordered some herbs from you earlier. Oh, last year, the sour sop. I think I ordered sour sop. Maybe I don't know if it was anything else that I ordered, but that helped me. I shared that with my father because he had got diagnosed with prostate cancer, and then Donnell, my husband's dad, got diagnosed with kidney cancer
Oh,
like
wow.
months later. So they both I was like, here's some herbs, drink these, drink this tea. And now that's a part of my dad's like daily tea regimen and drinking the sour sop. So thank you. I'm so
Awesome. Oh,
happy.
you're welcome. My
You
pleasure.
mentioned that they're well now. Can't believe
Yes, they're both well. They're both well.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
both of them.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, my dad, they can't even detect anything even before he had because he did radiation. Before radiation, his numbers were down, and they were like,
Wow.
maybe it's the estrogen shot that we gave you. My dad was like, no, it is not the estrogen shot.
No.
No.
Congratulations.
Thank
Wow.
you. Yes, yes. Yeah, so sorry, Jessica. I know I was asking you a question, but I forgot that I wanted to
Oh
share.
no, you're good. You're good. You're good. I wanted to say thank you for having really for opening your life up, opening yourself up to holding space for so many people. Because it's you have devoted your life to service, the service of changing lives and helping women find themselves, and that is, it's one day it's not going to be just Sister Yaya, it's going to be Saint Yaya, because that, like, it's a big deal. Okay, it
Mhm.
is not easy work to hold space for others, and we see that, we recognize that, and we honor you for that. So all the flowers, may you receive all the flowers, and just know that you are held to high esteem with all of us and our listeners. People have come to me and they're like, yeah, I'm watching your episode with Sister Yaya again. Okay,
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
That's awesome.
So yes, keep doing what you're doing, and I'm definitely going to be in Mexico one day, or that whole that interchange between, yeah, we're going to be in Mexico, then we're going to go to Jamaica, then we're going to come back. I like that.
Thank you.
yes.
I like that a lot.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I appreciate it. It's always an honor and pleasure. I never take it for granted when I have an invitation such as to with you all to sit and share medicine. I feel like we're like sipping tea together and got our fuzzy socks on. And we're like, yeah,
Yes.
girl. We're just like talking. And these are the ways we've healed. These are the ways we've reconnected. And it's just an honor, really an honor and a pleasure to have the invitation to be here and to share with your audience. And I just want to thank you. Thank you for confiding and trusting and allowing me to share this medicine with you and your audience.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We're humbled to, because I feel so excited too. I feel very honored to have you. So thank you so much. Where can everyone find you if they're not already following? Where can they find you and get in contact with you?
Of course. So the best way is through my email, which is info@Soul Tribe Heals. We're also Soul Tribe Heals on TikTok, Soul Tribe Heals on Instagram, and on Facebook. So you can find us there. But sometimes the messages get shuffled up and I may or not see. So email is the best. And of course, our website, info@Soul Tribe Heals. If you want to, excuse me, our website is soultribeheals.com. If you want to
Okay.
get on our mailing list, when we have events coming up, you'll be the first to know. So that's the best way to get in contact with me for anything herbalism, healing, family, cord cutting, things like that.
Yes, yes, and maybe we'll have another episode with cord cutting. I think Jessica got cut out. She may or may not come back. But yeah, we'll have to have you on again so we can talk about cord cutting like you discussed. That's a whole nother thing.
It's a whole nother thing. And it relates to the mother wound as well in so many ways.
Okay.
And I think someone was sharing with me their experience, and they're so, I mean, I don't want to get into it here, but once you start to cut the things in your life that no longer serves you, you become a different person. And when you
Okay.
become a different person, your world has to be organized around your energy now that you're a different person. So there's a
Mm,
cord cutting, and then there's like the postpartum. Now everything's different, right? How do I
yes.
navigate my relationship? How do I navigate my finances? How do I navigate, life? And so we could
Yes.
talk about all of those things, even the setting the intention before cord cutting, how important that is, and having support along the journey, because you're going to experience grief, anger,
Yes.
frustration, loss, sadness. All of these things are natural, but it's part of the process. And so having the knowledge and even some support along the way, I think is very important.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Well, we are, I think Jessica, she might have lost her connection. But thank you for tuning in, everyone. You can find us at Keep Expecting Miracles Pod on Instagram. You can also email us at keepexpectingmiracles@gmail.com. And subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch the video at Keep Expecting Miracles. So thank you again for tuning in. And we're so happy to have Sister Yaya again. Thank you. And until next time, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye. Okay.